Now, in non-acoustic mode, we have a more in-depth look at Meathook Seed, the band formed by members of Obituary and Mitch Harris of Napalm Death. The project recently released their debut album, Embedded, to such a good response that they are now planning to take the band into the live environment. We caught up with Mitch to find out how this unusual and category-defying sound came about.
Yeah, it was really good, actually, for us to get together and be able to experiment without people, record companies and all kinds of people breathing down our neck saying it's got to be like this, you got to record here, you got to do this. I mean, in a way, they did breathe down our neck, but at the same time, they were into seeing what we could do with the time and the money and to experiment. I mentioned to Trevor about vocals. I said, you know, I'm doing this band called Meathook Seed, probably about 2 years ago. And he said, dude, I've always wanted to sing for a band. I said, that's cool. You know, well, I wonder what your voice sounds like. And he told me how he would sing and stuff. And I said, well, that's pretty much what I was looking for. And I said, I got a bunch of lyrics and I got these songs written, so I'll send you a tape, you know, or whatever. And I let him hear a tape when we wound up doing a tour together. And he was totally into, you know, he was freaked out on it, actually, and he was like, oh, I'd love to do vocals. When we played Tampa, I played with Donald, and we had like a half-hour jam, I mean a 3-hour jam session, and wrote a song together, and I just said, he's perfect, you know, perfect drummer for what I'd want to do. And he was all into doing the drum machine thing too, and bringing in different like techno kicks and samples and different noises and experimenting with a bunch of stuff. And it worked out. You know, we only had 7 rehearsals to do the album because it was really rushed with everybody. We're trying to work it in with both our schedules and stuff, but we're happy. Let's do it. I'm like, let's try putting a big old 808 kick on this, you know, a big rap kick or something. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And I would do it, and I'd say, do you think I went overboard? They'd say, no, man, that's what this is about. You got to just go for it. You know, this is a chance to break away from everything and step in a different direction and just be able to set ourselves up. Like, for the next album, the way this album varies, like vocal style and everything changes from song to song, and like there's samples on some song, there isn't on some songs. Basically, the next album we can do whatever we want, and people can't really criticize it because we could say, look, the first album we did varied so much that the second album could sound nothing at all like the first album. I don't write lyrics for Napalm or anything. Shane and Barney do all that. But I had a chance to do whatever I wanted and just write about how I feel. And at the time, I was on a trip where I was so depressed and so miserable and so lonely that I wanted the world to, I wanted them to see how miserable a person could be. And so I wrote the lyrics, you know, just my feelings, and that was it. And when I showed them to Trevor, I mean, I had already kind of worked them out to the songs, and so they would fit, and I knew, you know, that it fit and there wasn't too much. I knew we had to change some stuff. But he was totally into the lyrics, and so was Donald, and so was Shane, actually, and they all could relate to what I was talking about, and he didn't want to change anything. Just like the way he would sing it, I'd say, cool, you can change, you know, let him develop his own vocal style and stuff. Hammond sector, we got to, that song basically from start to finish is like, you know, just, it's like it's a techno dance beat, which I love to hear when I go to a club. Just, you know, it's a break. And so I was like, oh, I'd love to just write a riff that would fit, but like a heavy riff, you know, do something heavy on top of something that just like, you know, like one of them beats, and then have some like Jane's Addiction type of tom work, like, and have that with this bottom end bass going. We got to do that, and that turned out cool, and some backwards noises going at points, which people probably won't even recognize till like a year from now, but because I mean there's so much going on in that song. Have another guitarist live, and Shane's gonna be on bass, and me and Trevor and Donald, and this guy in the band called The Terrorist is gonna be doing all the tom work, because if you listen to the album, there's a lot of like toms, like gung 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 gung. We're gonna have Donald keeping a straight beat, and The Terrorist will be doing his thing, you know, and it should be cool live. There'll probably be 6 to 7 people on stage, and it's not gonna be your normal run-of-the-mill thing. It's gonna be, I mean, we've got a chance to do whatever we want, and we're taking it to the extreme.
Meathook Seed there.